Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me feel alive.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another semi-final. As we had Pro Kami versus Fortitude fans on the weekend, and it was unfortunately a pretty one-sided affair. But I feel like whoever wins today will have a way better shot against Pro Kami than Fortitude fans had on the weekend. So I'm really excited, both for whoever makes it out today, and also for the grand finals already. So yeah, really hyped here. Forward versus Tiberius Rancor. I feel like Tiberius coming in here as the favorite, because we haven't seen Forward on the highest level performing super amazingly in the past, whilst Tiberius has been in every single tournament that we had, I feel like, since early access start, and he always did well. But what do you think of Chlorite? Who has the better chances here today, and what do you think are Forward's chances in this one?
Unironically, Tiberius is a goddamn beast. Like, Tiberius has shown such a very, very good and reliable and varied amount of playstyles. I think if I think of somebody going against Pro Comi, Tiberius is the person right now. But I mean that doesn't mean Forward doesn't have the chances here. That doesn't mean that Forward doesn't necessarily have the skills. Just need to be proven. We've heard before from the people participating in these tournaments that games are on this level. Games are won and lost on the picks and ban stages, and that's something that's pretty difficult to communicate to the audience. But I do think Forward 34, let's say, having a couple of new divisions, maybe unexpected strategies, combinations, or counters in their pockets, managing to beat Tiberius with a couple of unexpected picks, and then going in against a now morally weakened, less cohesive Tiberius. Uh, it's absolutely possible, but from the starting point, I am Tiberius all the way here. Not due to any loyalties towards the dreaded French, but just because I am a realist.
Yes, and we have picks and bans coming up here now as well for the first game. So let's have a look onto that here for a second. Map bans, Mount River, Airport, and Urban Frontlines. So two of the maps we saw in the last semifinals banned here immediately. Mount River, interesting ban. I think it's because Tiberius just doesn't like to be forced into those grind games, and that map can force you there. So yeah, and Urban Frontlines, a map that I feel like a lot of top players still feel uncomfortable on. So
Yeah.
that is a ban here as well. First map is gonna be the classic Two Lakes, and then we have division bans 76 and KDA from forward, and Tiberius banning second and 82nd on it. So a decent amount of the forward deploy powerhouses here taken out with 76, 82nd, and second Pentagram. What do you think will we see here? What do you have more insight about Tiberius at the moment? I haven't watched him too closely lately. What is he playing?
I have to say I've had too much schoolwork to really stay on top of this stuff. But I'd say we're likely to get the 35th, especially if we're somebody's playing two lakes here. I mean, well, I don't know, but maybe not two lakes. I'd say there are certain maps in which 35th forward deployment is really powerful. 35th in general, very powerful. Not just as a forward deployment division, but as a division in general. But it's true that on two lakes, the forward deployment component on the highest levels is not as relevant because you can counter and scale against them in the mid to late game. But I'd say that the half of the, and actually 3/4 of the bans here are banning forward deployment divisions, and so I think that the stuff that is getting left open, not 11E necessarily. 11E I don't think is versatile enough, but I think 35th will get played here. And if 35th doesn't get played, I think the Two Lakes map will likely be about building a very strong amount of mid-game firepower to fight on the well, you can't say southern or left side, but the less populated side of Two Lakes. That's where we've seen the earlier our earlier finals with people like Pro Comi. We've seen them just try to do this most solid fundamentals possible, and both Tiberius and Forward are pretty solid players. They don't, unlike Forward. Unlike Fortitude Fence earlier, they don't have to rely on being surprising. They can just out micro and out control and out efficiency the opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, second UK, I feel like it might be a division that we will see again here as well. We have seen it a good couple of times lately on this map. SAS, interesting opener. We have seen some strong airplay with them as well. So I feel like second UK, a division that we absolutely might see here as well. I really am a bit under experienced right now what both Tiberius and Forward play, because I haven't met either of them on the ladder lately, because Eugen Matchmaker has become too good and I'm too low of a pleb by now, playing too much 152nd at the moment, getting me out of the top 200 again. I played, I think, 10 or 12 games of 152nd and I won only 2, and that got me from like rank 110 to 220 again, so no chances that I will meet the top guys again currently on the ladder. And yeah, I haven't seen much Tiberius Rancor gameplay outside of that lately either, so I'm pretty excited to what we will see. As yeah,
Yeah,
I
on
think maybe a
chat.
15th day might be back in action here.
Yeah, the second UK was the division that Pro Comi played back in the day when I don't remember which tournament, but one of the finals. I think the second UK played with maximum amount of tanks, taking the MBTs on zero vet can maybe just have enough of the tanks to push through late game. The problem with second UK is the amount of mechanized forces they can bring. Well, the lack of mechanized forces that they can bring out to keep up their early infantry and helicopter aggro, and but somebody here on in chat is saying that fourth motto is good on Two Lakes, and that is correct. But a lot of divisions are good on Two Lakes, and fourth motto doesn't necessarily have the amount of heavy firepower to counter the amount of late to mid game blobbing that you can do with tanks. The problem with Two Lakes, in my opinion, is that it is so very predictable. There are very few areas in which the final decisive battles get fought, and hold on, I'm sorry, I was reading chat. So, but yeah, so there's so few areas in which the battles get fought that relying on something like fourth moto, which can be out traded by even mediocre tanks, is not necessarily the best idea.
Yeah, like Two Lakes, if we have a quick look on it, it really is a map that is all about getting in early or grinding it out heavily, and sometimes a mix of both. So you have these two town zones here. It is the OG WARNO map. A lot of people hate it. Some people like it. Most people are somewhat neutral about it. It is just basic 101 WARNO. It is a bit too annoying on it by now being on in the map pool for forever. And like if you have played this game 100 times or so, it just gets really stale by now. But yeah, what you can do here is obviously rushing into the enemy zone town, and if you have forward deploy, you get in there before the enemy can really do anything about you entering. So you can contest the zone, get take down. But if that doesn't work out and you get pushed out, then both towns are pretty easy to defend in the later stages for a good while. You have to flatten them with artillery, you have to get set up big pushes, a lot of artillery gameplay, and then slowly get into the zones again. Or if you need to push deep, it's a bit easier here. It's pretty hard here. It's doable over here, more so maybe than even over here. So there is some interesting balance on the map. But yeah, the deep pushes are all a bit complicated.
There is a 2 minute delay, so we've been waiting here for a moment. But Protos, if you jump in, wait. Oh,
Do we got a game?
yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's jump right in there. Nice. Yeah, there we go. let's get into the action here. And let's speed up through the deployment a bit. Ooh, this is hot. Can we 8 versus first UK it is? No second
Yeah,
UK.
we're 5 minutes 30 currently on to live. Yeah, 8 versus first UK. So first UK is kind of like the NATO fourth motto a little bit, except the not really. I mean, it has the medium tanks and it has the forward deployment opener, but the infantry is nowhere near as good, especially not when you're taking the infantry on zero vet. Then it's really just kind of a nominal infantry takeover. But with Forward 34 investing into taking the worse armored division, the British one, but gets a town of Oscar for basically free. Forward deployment, especially the forward deployment Milan 2, allows easy control takeover of the town. But on the other side, Tiberius Rancor is not ready to let the town go without a fight, sending a Ranger's Dragon on a helicopter as well as a tow cobra. The helicopters are fast enough that they should arrive around Oscar at the same time as the forward deployment Terriers Para. And with considering that these are zero vet standard line infantry and the Rangers are close quarters weapons equipped special forces supported by the Black Hawk and the Tow Cobra, Tiberius might actually just get this. There are more reinforcements, assault pioneers, and a hell arm coming to Oscar as well. But Tiberius will be able to reinforce the town with even more helicopters.
Ooh,
Both
the
players.
double. We have the Mix 90 opener here on the right side for Tiberius. Meanwhile, only a single tornado on the left side. Okay. That is going to lead to interesting things here. Oh, forward is sending it in. That tornado is going down. The question is, can it kill one of the F-16s? It can't. But yeah, it goes down there on the way out. Okay, that's a nice victory for Tiberius. Might enable him to get some helicopter play here out of the Tow Cobras. As, yeah, without the tornado, the protection for the Terrier Para here, not given. The protection for the Lynxes, not given either. And that is an issue here, with 2 Tow Cobras on the battlefield from the get-go.
Yeah, on the northern town, the Tow Cobra is firing its small amount of rockets at the infantry, the SAS patrol, and the Terriers Para that are getting in town. This British incursion here might seem threatening, but as the Rover Milan up north misses its first shot, and the mech rifles are going to walk into the town, the actual fighting will likely be on the side of the Americans. The American infantry squads are better, and they are veterancy 1 instead of the zero vet untrained forward deployment troops. Tow Cobra also free to fire at the warrior uplink, which is a big problem because the uplinks are providing very needed firepower here, and contesting only units contesting.
Ooh, Scimitar with the side angle though. Can the Scimitar get the kill there? The south, the F-16 getting the hell arm as well. But the Tow Cobra has to evacuate there. Good push here with the Scimitar in the north. And the infantry here for forward is more numerous. And the mech rifles, remember guys, they are down to only 2 MGs and 9 men instead of the 3 MGs, 11 men squads that they were in the past. So the British infantry is a lot more competitive against them. Scimitar most likely gonna go down here now to the Tow Cobra. Oh, Tow Cobra not getting hits off though. Scimitar are barely getting routed before it can kill the Tow Cobra. Both Cobras now really damaged, have to get out here soon. But forwards push in the north is decently working, whilst at the same time Tiberius' Rangers in the south, they're gonna get overwhelmed here by the Assault Pioneers in a split second.
Hey, Protoss, remove the bans from the screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Rangers have engaged and destroyed a scout squad, and as the Assault Pioneers and Terriers Para get in pursuit, the wounded Rangers move back. So far, Forward 34, to secure the town of Oscar, Forward needs to control the 2 entry routes inside. If the entry routes aren't threatened, Tiberius can keep on sending infantry to contest the town. As long as the Rangers hold at least one of the routes, and as long as the scouts provide a certain amount of information, Tiberius can both use air assets to fight for the town and reinforce it. So despite the numerical advantage forward has down south, it's does
Oh,
not seem to be enough for
Robert
now.
Milan nearly killing the M60 leader here. Has no ammo to follow it up with. Tokobras and the M60, yeah, get rid of it now, but M60 won't be able to push in there either, so forward will push the point advantage further, and Tiberius still has to get the X-ray point secured beforehand. Ranger Dragons able to survive in Oscar, so we still have a contest of both zones going on here, and the F-16 trying to strafe down the tractor up here, but it tries to get the kill onto the Tokobras. This is a interesting start of the first game here, really competitive. Both sides losing a lot of units here from the get-go. F-16 trying to strafe down the tractor up here, not quite able to do so. Second one coming in though. Do we see a big air spam game here out of Tiberius in the long run now? We have another kill onto an AA piece here. Javelins and tractor piers coming in big numbers now. So I feel like forward will be ready for more helicopters and so on in the near future. But the airplay, the one thing that Tiberius currently has somewhat going for him.
Yeah, I mean, Tiberius kind of has to start buying air here. Tiberius needs to bring out a lot of HE damage here, and without, I think a rocket Cobras would do well here, if not for the air defense, of course. But the Rangers here are engaging in a really bad engagements against numerous enemy infantry units at the same time. The assault pioneers are getting into fighting range, and despite the Rangers doing great damage, these are still Vet 1 Rangers. They are not taking advantage fully of the special forces trait, which scales really well with increased veterancy. And Tiberius is kind of fighting for his life right now, even though forward hasn't secured the town down south. Forward has made the, I believe, correct choice of fully investing into the breakthrough on the more important side here. LGB Bomber managing to take out an enemy squad. Tornado AA coming back and challenging, getting hit by the F, getting taken down by the F-16s with the best AIM-9M missiles, the heat-seeking missiles, which are the best, the most accurate weapon of the F-16. But so far, I mean, at this point, Tiberius has lost the town. Tiberius doesn't have Oscar, or having Oscar could allow Tiberius to stay still and start scaling up. But with all of these forces, especially these warrior up leagues, which will be able to transport infantry further up, and the track rapiers, which will able to cover them against the tow cobras, this is a really bad situation for Tiberius. Tiberius needs to immediately start scaling into something akin to a mech force. But mech forces are really expensive, and they take some time to get out, and forward is in a position to attack right now.
Yeah, forward has set up stuff soon in the north. +1 currently, as Tiberius is getting more units into the southern zone. And forward at least is threatened there by the Rangers and the mech rifles. His assault pioneers, though, with the TNT helping out, the mech rifles there in trouble. The Ranger Dragon maybe should push forward as well. So should the M60 to get extra veterancy. The Rangers with extra veterancy, the mech rifles with extra veterancy, they maybe could beat this, but without that, it's gonna be tough. Blackhawk trying to move around, has its MG fire still, that could potentially have out. F-16 going down, oh no, this is bad. This is really bad news, and yeah, Tiberius realizing that the north is pretty open, desperately trying to defend there with a bit of his stuff, but at the same time also kind of trying to go for the split map now by moving a lot of stuff south and trying to get some things done here in the south. Mech Rifle leader already with the Blackhawk going for Papa, whilst he still has so much less on the battlefield though.
Yeah, the assault pioneers destroying the Rangers down south here, not Tiberius not realizing that they gotta run, and the mech rifles now running off the last units that Tiberius has to contest the town here. The forward warrior up league will now move up. It will spot the engineers, and it'll get a free kill. The engineers can't realistically do enough damage to kill the warrior, even if they hit with all of their satchel charges. At this point, at this point, this really will come down to: will Tiberius be able to micro the southern town fight and win based on this? And that win will have to be a pretty damn conclusive one, because Tiberius is taking all the units that are supposed to defend the back point of Alpha, and only sending in a single helicopter to counter. And the single helicopter is very vulnerable to every plane that First UK has.
Yes. And the Assault Pioneers and Terra Paras in the south still holding on nicely. Supply truck finally arrived there to help out the Mech Rifle Dragons to get back to full strength. 2 Tow Cobras and 2 F-16s in the game up north again. But the Rover CP makes it in there and will get the point. So Tiberius is falling behind here, but is staying alive. And that is the important part here right now. Tiberius, with M1A1s and so on later on, it's still 31 minutes here. If Tiberius can get all the points in the south, and we see... Oh no! Oh, the Warrior Pleaks are moving south. They nearly get the Blackhawk leader here with the mech rifles. They're still firing. Oh, this would be a disaster. Oh, they get a couple more shots off. It's barely surviving. And it gets to land on the ground. Mech rifle leader will be able to get into the zone. But the Warrior Pleaks obviously out for the blood now. Tornado AA here around as well. But at least Tiberius will get some capture points here for a while. Though... that is really bad news here for Tiberius. The Warrior Pleaks just being at the wrong spot for him there. And at the really right spot for forward. Both Tow Cobras destroyed in the north as well in the same time. Oh, this is looking really bad for Tiberius right now.
Yeah, this we generally don't see straight up aggro First UK, because First UK is not the best aggro division. I mean, this is infantry aggro First UK, were against this kind of air and helicopter centered Tiberius's eighth US play, and I think the problem here is the Tow Cobras. Couple of regular Cobras could have been able to do so much damage to the early British infantry attack that the tide could have maybe been stemmed there. But with only 20mm cannons, that's just simply not enough. The Tiberius kind of played on the assumption that there was going to be light infantry and significant mech, but instead it was just heavy infantry. And that is both surprising, but also takes into account the fact that the British infantry is pretty all right. The British infantry is absolutely not the worst, even though there are no singular units that can carry the game, such as SAS here on the board.
Yes, and also Tiberius losing a lot of his aircraft after the first victory against Tornado. Now the F-16s have died, the Tow Cobras have been shut down a bit too easily as well, and yeah, we see the LGB here now coming in, but it's flying over a lot of AA there as well. It will get the Challenger damaged, but it's still 1 in 8 US, so it doesn't even one-shot kill them. And if it goes around for another run here, I don't think that's a good idea. There's too many Javelins, and yeah, Tiberius losing the air just a bit too quickly, and then having so many Blackhawks around, they are expensive. So if you don't sell them, and he often didn't sell them, or at least for a good while, and if you then start losing them, your position there also is a lot thinner than usual. Oh, M60 trying to go deep, but the Warrior Pleaks just ripping it apart, and I think we are close to Tiberius just tapping out of here. F111 going down as well. This is really, really rough right now.
Yeah, this Tiberius is taking really bad engagements, lacking proper support for the tanks, lacking recon, lacking anti-air outside of the planes, and just simply not getting any kills. Just there was a moment there in which if forward's units had been taken out in large amounts, if forward had been forced to take any kind of step backwards, but so far basically every engagement has been Tiberius just trying to stem the tide of British.
Yeah, this is just going pretty rough. And 5 minutes remaining till victory here for forward with the +4 tick. Tiberius needs to get some kills in the north. The couple of units that are there are relatively low, so he might be able to get some units in there, but even then, he still needs to start getting some good trades, and he's just not getting that lately. Yeah, M60 pushing forward, Mech Rifle Dragon and Law coming in. We have an M1A1 on the battlefield as well. they can be force multipliers sometimes, but against Chieftain Mark 3s, they still won't have it easy. And the M60 here going down once more. The whole combined arms is just not online right now, but thanks to the great trades, like, there's combined arms in every single corner of the map by now for forward here.
Yeah, I mean the 8th US is a high-tech division. The units are good and the units are expensive. If you lose a lot of stuff in the opener, if you lose a lot of ground in the opener, if you get yourself into a situation in which you need to quickly start getting units on the board, 8th is not the division for you. 8th doesn't have that capacity. There was an overinvestment into the helicopters that just didn't pay out at any point. Even though the Rangers are good units, but taking the Rangers on bet one, I think might be the fact that they might be the only helicopter infantry in the division, and Tiberius wants to have maximum amount of slots. So even the specialized special forces units that are required to hold their own against superior numbers, even these were not upvetted, most likely to kind of get the ability to buy more air assets.
Yes, and we have now the slow counter push here from forward in the south. Forward still on a +4. We'll lose that in a second when the M1 CV arrives in the north, but I mean the point lead is massive already. And yeah, no AA around here in the north. F-16 all died, so the M1A1 has to be careful there when a Lynx Hellarm is hunting it. And that's not the position you want to be in at this stage. M1A1 here, hunted by the Lynx Hellarm. The recon vehicle here going down as well, and forward in a really, really good spot here. And hello to all the Team Place Raiders who are coming in as we see the start of a potential upset here.
Myself predicting Tiberius Rancor to be superior here, but instead Forward 34 starting out the gate very strongly with the series, doing first UK infantry aggro, followed up by massed upleaks and helicopters. Then Tiberius Rancor taking bad trades with special forces and helicopters, and not being able to build up enough combined arms here. I mean, there's a hell arm behind Oscar right now, threatening Tiberius' supply lines. Forward is just fully taking advantage of the superior numbers on board here.
Yeah, meanwhile, M60 and mech rifles pushing forward. Meanwhile, some more scouts moving around. Lynx Hellarm in the south, M60 in the north against the Chieftain, taking a slow fight here. But yeah, the helicopters just being able to roam around as all the F-16s have been lost. This is tough, and the M60s won't win against Chieftains. The Chieftain is the superior tank here by a good margin, just having way more penetration. And yeah, that M60 is in trouble. Chieftain getting stunned down by the Eyehawk, but that is under fire by the SAS Patrol that have a long-range sniper rifle. Really nice recon unit as well. And with that, I believe the south is about to fall. I mean, there's nothing here that Tiberius can really do to stop that, and he won't get in the north. He is trying to slowly approach the north again, but he just didn't trade at all so far.
Yeah, do you think it was a mistake that for Tiberius to contest the south against the forward deployment infantry? Early on, it seemed like it was one of the only things that went right for Tiberius here. But looking at the relatively small amounts of troops that forward took to gain the northern town at the start, and maybe I think that could have maybe been the time to fix it all. The helicopter and air investments for Tiberius really needed to not be on defense, and they were forced to be on defense by this concentrated force of infantry, especially the assault pioneers getting sent to fight the way more expensive Rangers Dragon, which have also taken the tempo hit of being transported with helicopters. Just made Tiberius's fight just very, very inefficient.
Yes, we have a Chieftain Mark 11 in the north at the meantime, holding the push there as well. Pivot going down, Engineers going down, Mech Rifle going down. Tiberius not quite wanting to tap out here yet, but this is a pretty over game. Like, we have a +2 here again, and he gets more Abrams in, he gets Bradleys in, but there are a lot of defensive infantry units in here. There are challengers already. The warrior appliques is a really helpful little unit here to assist your M1A1s, your chief challengers against the M1A1s as well. Can do really nice damage. The Chieftain Mark 11 goes down in the north. Good micro there by Tiberius. Getting some decent engagements there right now. Oh, I say that as the rifle misses its Law 80 hit here against the M1. Okay, Law 80 gets some damage on target now, and the Challenger is around as well. Sniper going down, Scouts still going down, as the Tornadoes can just go for strafing runs now, as the F-16s are out of the sky, and no ground-based AA is around, so yeah, this is just not what we want to be up against, and the northern push here is collapsing completely. Ito will get gunned down by the Tornado as well. And now the M1s come in from the other side, get a warrior applique, but Milan 2's here doing good damage. Challengers can rotate around as well. And yeah, the pivot, good damage against the Tornado, but this is not going to work out here.
Tiberius buying the 3 mech rifles Law with trucks into the town, something that he maybe should have done at the beginning of the game instead of as a final straw 20 minutes in. But yeah, there's a reason why 8th Infantry aggro is not necessarily the best idea. If your opener with your mobile and expensive units doesn't work out, you won't be able to come back. Not by buying M1 Abrams and Itos and all of these expensive units. Not especially not when you're contesting the whole map, which is what Tiberius started doing from the very beginning. And while I don't want to simplify this too much, but I do think that this was a quite simple, aggressive and efficient and well planned out attack against a too expensive helicopter opener, which was not concentrated at all.
And yeah, forward getting the W here, starting really nicely in here. Yeah, only rank 51 at the moment on the leaderboard, but playing a really strong season here and coming in good into the semifinal as well. Making it a really interesting series. I hope it won't be just a forward clashing Tiberius Rancor and 3-0 run this time, but I have absolute confidence that that won't be the case, guys. Let's go on and let's see. And there might be a leaderboard down below that still functions, Reef. I'm not sure. It might be broken application, but yeah, we will see how this one now continues here. As yeah, damn, forward beating Tiberius Rancor completely one-sided here in this first game. Like, this was nowhere even close, even after the loss of the Tornado. Like, he lost the Tornado, the Toko Bros got some damage. Like, you couldn't hope for much better first couple of seconds for Tiberius, and still everything fell apart so quickly then.
Yeah, if the TOW Cobras had the rocket loadout, if they were the standard Cobras, if they were able to kill like 1.5 infantry squads to support the 2 Rangers for actually fighting for the town, not immediately losing the town. I mean, the town wasn't lost immediately. The town was lost when the first reinforcements of assault pioneers got in. By the time the assault pioneers were there, the 20mm guns of the TOW Cobras were not enough to keep them from destroying the Rangers. The immediate follow-up with the Warriors applique, as well as the movement with the very cheap, very efficient Scimitar recon vehicle down south, all of just as this gave, not to mention the Power Rover Milan to threaten the supply route of 8th US, all of this spoke of a more concentrated and planned out attack. Correct me if I was wrong, but wasn't it Tiberius who banned 2nd Panzer? Maybe Tiberius was recognizing that these kind of early efficient attacks are really powerful here, and just didn't suspect that First UK could be would be played in this way that Second Panzer Grenadiers generally played.
Yes, and also the first UK opener here, don't think the takeover was really the issue. I mean, they killed vehicles with the ATGMs as well early on. It just, they got, like, I feel like the Rangers might have been the wrong choice there, because for the price of the Rangers, you could have gotten like an extra mech rifle or two in a normal Jeep transport because of the Black Hawks, and then you would have had a bit more meat in the beginning in the north, and also maybe a bit more in the south, but he tried to rush in there, and then it was just a bit too much investment into too many light hit point units that then just got overwhelmed, and the infantry just outgrinded him here.
Yeah, and then there was some weird buys, such as the N60 leader. Instead of immediately reinforcing the southern fight, where there was a single ranger holding the southern town, instead of buying fast reinforcements there, instead Tiberius bought the command tank, which had to go sideways to capture the back point as well, and all of this just made the efficiency problem even worse. But yeah, you're right about the Rangers. The Rangers Dragon are a good unit if they are in a position in which they can shine. But the Rangers Dragon was spotted, or at least the Black Hawks were spotted by the British. So it didn't take long for Forward to realize any kind of a fight with assault pioneers, I will trade up, and that's why I did.
Yes, it will be interesting to see what we get here in the upcoming matches. Guys, if you want to use this small downtime to support the league, you can do so on Matcherino, where you can just subscribe to Matcherino's YouTube channel, for example, to add money for free to the prize pool. Or, if you want to help out even more, you can contribute money directly. And also, if you want to help the channel and the YouTube channel, consider leaving a like. And if you have a Twitch Prime laying around, consider leaving that as well. Thanks to all of you for watching. It's always amazing to see in those high stakes events here, all of you coming around, combined over YouTube and Twitch, over 100 people watching right now. This is quite nice. And yeah, let's get ready for game number 2 as picks and bans start to come around. Map number 2 will be on Hesse. The bans from forward side, KDA at 152nd. What?
I mean, I guess on Hesse, I get it. A lot of weird stuff, a lot of stuff you can do with really fast moving forward deployment vehicles, I guess. A lot of ability to counter enemy helicopters if you want to play heli.
Yeah, 152nd, KDA 76, and 2nd Panzer from the side from Tiberius, but like I have seen 452nd in D tier on a lot of relatively high level or high level tier lists lately. So this ban just kind of comes out of nowhere for me. Maybe Forward knows something that we don't about Tiberius's playstyle lately, but chat, what do you think about this 152nd ban? Like, let us know here right now, because this is completely catching me off guard. Is Hesse really a 152nd map, guys? Is any map a 152nd map? Like, this is pretty wild.
Yeah, I can get the, I even can get the KDA. I guess if you consider 152nd to be kind of a KDA / TKS sort of a division with a lot of fast moving vehicles, a lot of 50 cal trucks instead of the worst trucks that you get with KDA. I guess you can theoretically build up some really good HE damage early game, but and maybe the recall plane is somehow worthwhile as well, but banning it instead of like 35th or 82nd, I personally don't get it.
Yeah. So yeah, 152nd is the Frenchy division. For everybody who doesn't know about the latest DLC, you have the 152nd French infantry and the 76 VDV division. The 76 VDV being recognized as potentially one of the strongest divisions currently in the game. Especially because it has a lot of cheap slots. Because it gets its non-existent helicopter 1-point slots and 2-point slots repositioned elsewhere. It has strong forward deployment with IFVs, like you usually got with VDVs here, BMD2s coming forward. And then it also has these 2 fighter cards of insanely strong MiG-31s, combined with really strong other planes like the Su-24 LGB that has 3 LGB bombs that it can drop individually on different targets. So a really strong air tap here as well. So that ban makes perfect sense, as it can use the VIF of Hesse quite well, and the forward deploy can be pretty strong as well. But at 152nd, what does it have that is supposedly strong on Hesse for you?
I mean, I think maybe the VIB, maybe there is maybe the buff to the anti-air guns combined with the fact that the VAB with the Commando del Air. I think this one, if you get a lot of these out early on, maybe on Hesse you can concentratedly break down and hunt down enemy infantry even when it's in buildings. Maybe using the recon plane to spot the enemy infantry and then sending the VIPs and the VABs. Sending the VIPs and the VABs salvo length to kill the enemy in buildings. Maybe this is something that people have tried out, and maybe this is something that somebody is afraid of here, but the fundamentals of 152nd aren't really powerful enough. If it's getting banned in any map, I'd say urban front lines and maybe Hesse, but its tank tab is just simply too light to contest the heavier side of Hesse. Unlike urban front lines on Hesse,
Yes,
you
exactly.
can win in the late game.
Like on urban front lines, I would have gotten it a bit. I would still argue that other infantry divisions are scarier, and I would still say so now. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there might have been some interesting, like, as I feel like this must be based on knowledge that we don't have about Tiberius maybe playing this division a lot lately, or something like that, because I don't think this just comes out of nowhere.
Look, it's the 50 caliber machine gun trucks. The 50 cal VABs, maximum speed, a lot of firepower, and you get, as a bonus to the VABs, you also get a bunch of reservists which can hold the ground. And then, well, you get nothing after that, but you know, at least you get that. Even the Crotals are currently.
Did any of you watch the yeah, I guess a lot of you did. The game between Berlin Command and this division, where that we saw from our Mr. Team in Place on the YouTube channel, like on his Twitch channel, like it gets bullied by so many things. Like even Berlin Command can bully it with Nighthawks because neither the Crotal nor either any of its fighters can spot them, for example. Like
yeah, the Crotal, like I think. What happened with the Crotal probably is that they gave it the Chaparral. They gave it like made it a stat clone of the Chaparral, but also gave it really good speed. But then also didn't add, even though it's a radar unit, they didn't give it radar optics. So they really get bad at spotting. Okay, her forward is currently on session.
Yeah. Tiberius. Yeah, and forward in session, so we're setting up here. Gonna be interesting to see what they play in game number 2 here. X and bands for sure already throw a bit of curveball. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what's going to happen here in this one.
Just in right now they have launched the game, and now we will take 2 minutes for the
let's jump in and let's figure out what they're playing here. Yes. Oh yeah,
wow.
okay. I kind of expected to see one of those games against from Tiberius today. We get Tiberius with 5th Blinde, and then we have forward with 11th ACAF. This is a hot matchup. This is a really hot matchup. I'm
Yeah.
Excited to see how this one plays.
Immediately, the two armored divisions with really good infantry. The French obviously has the better one here, but the 11th has better, way better tanks. So that will obviously compensate. The French will have enough slots to get veterancy one in infantry instead of 11th, which generally wants to play for the numbers because they have such a few slots, only being a buffed up regiment instead of a division or a brigade. And but when it comes to 11th, its squads are large. It gets IFVs with the Marders. The Marders, even though they have been nerfed price wise, the Panzer Grenadiers are now 6-man and do have a sniper rifle, whereas the French will rely mostly on their also large infantry squads, but with superior veterancy, supported by their autocannon tanks and 50 caliber trucks, 50 cal, transport trucks.
Yeah, and we gonna.
People have rightly said that in chat that this might be a huge mistake for Forward 34, letting Tiberius play 5e and instead of banning it off, 5e being both very powerful and being Tiberius's kind of a mainline flagship division. But Forward has probably figured out something to do against 5e if it wasn't banned. Like this 11th is one of the most powerful divisions in the game right now. 11th has the better late game in many ways. It has really good air, and it also has better AA, I believe.
Yes, I feel like if you play the open side here, like if you play X-Ray Zulu and then hold Lima and give up the town, like I feel like you have a lot of good things going for you here as Forward, who is coming in with some Cobras here from the get-go. Filters Führungs coming in here for Forward as well. Forward up 1-0. Habir is here on the right side with AMX 10 RCs and AMX 30s. Obviously, the French tanks, they are fast. They have the autocannon, which makes them an infantry delete machine, as they have decent HE on the main gun, plus really good HE on the 20mm, so anything that can fall to soft damage goes down really quick. The AMX 10s here, snipers in the front line. Though, if we see... I wouldn't be surprised if we see a ACAF M1A1 here. And yes, they come a bit later to the front line, but they win the duel hard. So that could be an interesting play here. Forward will play a bit in the town, though mostly just with some recon units here. Recon Humvee and Scout. The Scout being put out, and then the Humvee tries to go for some recon information in the rear line. And then we have, right now, a lot of AMX-10s, a Gazelle Hot, a Mephisto, so yeah, Tiberius will try to play the power play for the open side as well.
Yeah, the standard 5e power play, for those who don't know, is basically abusing the AMX-10 race cars, the very fast cannon-equipped kind of light recon tanks with very good optics. And max, even though they have light armor, they do have 10 health, so they are not as vulnerable as other recon vehicles. The AMX-10s can move up and they can watch at the... They can both sneak to the sides as well as they can peek and reliably take out any trucks, any light units, any recon vehicles that are out there, and they can immediately help the French to start out at an offensive footing. This then the French will respond with their offensive AMX-30s. AMX-30s being light, older generation tanks that you can get for pretty cheap, reasonable prices, and they can kill a lot of infantry, even infantry that is fortified in buildings. And if they need to kill armor, they have a large assortment of high-tech missiles, such as with the VAP Mephisto and just standard standard Milan 2s, as well as the very cheap and very efficient Gazelle Hot 2, firing the long range, very accurate, very high damage, Hot 2 missiles. One of the only missiles in the game that can reliably penetrate like M1A1 Abramses, which are the standard tank in 11th Horse.
Yeah, we see Bradleys here instead so far. M3A1 Bradleys coming out in decent numbers, so forward wants to play this defensively. The question is, if Tiberius is just pushing forward, is there enough? Does the defensive playstyle work here for forward? Forward having
Yeah,
some
the
Cobras,
Bradleys.
having a decent amount of engineers and dismounted troopers here as well. Surprising amount of infantry investment. 2 LRSs, only 2 anti-tank weapon units here in the north at the beginning for forward. That might be a crucial mistake.
Yeah, I mean, the French infantry get delivered on max speed with the VABs, and we've already seen forward in the last game do a lot of infantry play early on to get a really good advantage. So I think forward fortifying with 2 engineer squads, this standard area in which people often push, I think it's a pretty justified kind of assumed defense. If the enemy is going to do a standard infantry opener and get these positions, the French infantry have such good AT launchers and they have so many decent long-range defensive assets against your tanks that it's better to fight for that position than to try to capture it later on. And the later on here is the important term. The 11th horse has way heavier equipment. So the slower this game goes, the better forward will be doing here. Forward is investing into these very powerful yet very expensive forward deployment recon vehicles, the Bradleys. And the problem here is that if the Bradleys and AMX-10s meet, they're the same price, give or take, the AMX-10s will immediately take them out. The TOW-2 missile is going to take some time to fly against the French. During this time, the AMX-10 can fire, and even if it misses, it can just smoke out or leave. And so deploying these Bradleys in this defensive fashion is maybe the only way of using them, but I am afraid that they just might be easy pickings for some concentrated AMX-10 play.
Yes, we see a third Bradley now coming up north. Jaguar consideration came out first, but got replaced with Bradley here in the end as well, and that leaves 3 of them around. That is better than 2 for sure. That like a lot better than 2. As the TOW-2s are really scary for everything on the other side as well. Like that is the one big part here about why the Bradleys are most likely picked, because they can one-shot AMXs. Like they have so much penetration that AMX-30s frontally just disappear. So if the Bradleys get used correctly here, they can do a lot of damage. Question is just, are they gonna be used in the right spots at the right time? Because if they get shot, they are class cannons as well, and they will evaporate as well. So a high stakes battle here in the starting here, and I'm really excited for this one. That's Tiberius on 50. If forward can beat that, I feel like forward has a really good chance of winning this all completely.
Yeah, the Bradleys being recon vehicles, they do get 1 free level of stealth. They get a mediocre stealth. So Tiberius is a 2-pronged attack. One is the infantry and recon attack down the middle, and the other one is a tank attack up north. If you look at the 3 AMX-30s, including the leader one, they are going they basically are trying to take the tree line right northeast of Zulu, and this is an area that is currently only defended by the Bradley, and the Bradley is in a really bad position. The Bradley literally cannot fire at that tree line from this position. There are scouts to spot the enemy advance, but the American scouts don't have AT weapons. So even though the LRS do have them, the LRS AT weapons are very weak. Okay, immediately Cobra firing off its Hydra rockets at an AMX Surblinder doesn't do a lot of damage, and immediately a Mirage with the double guns and hits, as well as supporting fire from the AA gun, taking out that Cobra. That's immediately a slight bit of loss for forward, but forward does have a bunch of 80 damage dealers here, including the engineers and the Bradleys for support. This is also an area which forward can reinforce pretty fast, immediately buying out 2 more infantry squads. the infantry kind of needs to be on mass here, because in long drawn out engagements, the veterancy really starts mattering. Now a Tarask, a AA vehicle up north, spotting the scouts not having anything to shoot back at, get removed immediately, but telling forward that this attack is coming up here. The Bradley.
Oh, the Bradley in the middle is way too far forward there for forward, though. And that one is gone. And the one, yeah, it's down to 2 Bradleys now. But the armored push will keep coming here. And what do we get here in the rear? We get a Cav. The Cav won't help you against these guys that much. M1A1A Cav, that is a different story. That is a really important unit here. It can do a lot against the French. But if it gets stunned out and maybe get hit by Mephisto or so, it still will get overwhelmed. So it is a risky investment here, but it could pay off big time. Bradley with a TOW 2 shot against the MX-10. Tiberius microing nicely, getting that out of there. Whilst we have from the other side a lot of MX-30s coming in for this Bradley. I don't think the Bradley can win this fight. Gets one killed. At least one AMX-30 down, but the Bradley is down as well. LRS get beaten in the forest as well. They have some AT weapons now, but they can still get gunned down relatively quickly, and we will see Tiberius here with a +1 tick in a second. Well, it's but down in the south, we have forward pushing insanely deep.
Yeah, forward recognizing the law of WARNO dynamics, which means that any unit concentrations have their relative unit diffusions. All of these expensive units...
Oh, the Bradley goes too long, though! It could have killed the units in transport. It moves too deep. Damn. So, the Tiberius will get the better in the zone. His infantry will be able to get out of as well, and the Iltis Führungs there has to be careful. VAB goes down, Grenadier Voltigier under fire by the autocannon. The Bushmaster is a shredder. But the Iltis Führungs needs to be really careful in there as well. Trying to get the capture back, but that won't happen. And in the north, and Bradley heavily damaged, not quite killed off. M1A1A Cav and the M278 Cav moving around. Another M1A1 coming in. If you can get the M1A1 number to 3 or 4 here on the front line, then your chances as forward are pretty nice. Until then, it's gonna be a tough battle, but it is possible absolutely here to hold this with these units coming in. Oh, AMX is overextending, 1 down already. Dismounted troopers with 84s. Is Tiberius Rancor too deep in here now?
Yeah, that was going just a little bit too deep, letting the ACAV move up into a way better position and losing one of those AMX-30s there. The AMX-10s, the zero-vet infantry of forward is still holding.
Oh, AMX-30 leader goes down, but M1A1 ACAV under fire by the Mephisto needs to be really careful there as well. Might get a shot off. Can it find a kill? No, it can't. And now it gets stunned down. Now it gets heavily damaged in return. Second M1A1 trying to rotate around. Supply helicopter goes down before it can secure the Bradley. Next M1A1 around. Not able to kill the Mephisto first shot either. Gets hit upon now too. LGB F16 coming in. That is an important unit here. But it goes... Okay, kills the AMX-30. I feel like the Mephisto might be the more important target. And the Jaguar AT coming around here as well. This is such a brutal game again. M1A1 ACAV goes down. And yeah, it's once more pedal to the metal Tiberius Rancor. We saw that against Woe Is Me. He loves to trade. He loves to go for the fights where he loses stuff as well, sure. But you will just lose that slight bit more than he does. And he will get the points. It didn't work out in game number 1 at all. It starts to work out here. Second M1A1 goes down. And there's no AT on the front line here for forward. Outside of one Bradley.
Yeah, this is just ale, you know, just going straight through the breach and forcing the player with the more expensive equipment to buy out the singular units, which are really big tempo hits to lose. And with the Jaguars, the Hot 2 missiles, the Mephistos, you can take out those M1 Abramses, as we saw 2 of them getting taken out. This is a massive situation for Tiberius right now might actually be game winning. The fact that those Bradleys never managed to break down the AMX-10 Surblinders, the fact that the Bradleys were not able to counter the northern attack, and the fact that even despite the backline Bradleys still being alive and managing to take out the gazelles sent to hunt them, the backline Bradleys are not really doing anything with those two infantry squads holding the French backline position. Right now, the Surblinders have basically worked as fire support, helping the French infantry, the sniper rifle equipped French infantry, by the way, break through these zero-vet infantry units. The sniper rifles doing so much suppression damage that they will help the Vet 1 units achieve a cohesion snowball, DPS snowball earlier than expected. And yeah, despite that little overextension with the MX-30s driving right into the dismounted troopers, this is a really bad situation for Forward. Forward really needs to start getting some serious kills here, and Tiberius has to overextend again, I think.
Yeah, +2 now for Tiberius. Forward needs to stabilize. Forward needs to get the M1A1s out. Needs to get an AA set up that it protects him against the AT planes as well. His infantry here getting pushed by Grenadier Voltigeurs. Those have a sniper rifle, giving them a lot of stress power. The DMRs are really, really scary. And yeah, we see some smoke mortars coming around. Dismounted troopers here pushing around as well. Stinger going down. Forward has the setup that blocks more reinforcements from coming in south, but he can't push towards Alpha right now. He has to play full-on defense right now, and that is a pretty scary thing to play at against the Tiberius Rancor that we have seen against Woe Is Me, and he is back here full swing, just non-stop action. He loses a lot as well, but often enough he ends up slightly ahead, and he ends up ahead in points especially, and that is really big here.
Yeah, the Abramses fighting a late game against a fortified front of Mephistos could maybe work out, especially with enough smoke mortars and air support. But at this point, Abramses are gonna have to fight off a ever-increasing amount of enemy ATGMs that are on their side of the board. The thing that really is different from the Mephistos, from Jaguars, Jaguar 2s, which are the main ATGM vehicle of the 11th and a bunch of West German divisions, is that these VAT Mephistos have a road speed of 100. That is a massive difference in practice on how you always have these things in inconvenient places instead of just standing around and holding like an ATGM squad.
F-16 LGB gets another important kill here, but Tiberius gets another important capture point going on. We see a C-Knight coming in. Still two TRM 2000s around there though. Bradley's versus AMX-30. AMX-30 tries to swing its gun around, goes down. Like, Tiberius is still losing units here. Forward is still getting things done again. So, once more, not a absolute steamroll here, but a really strong position for Tiberius.
Yeah, the Surblinders are still alive. The Surblinders are just taking out these Bradleys even now. The combination of this fast speed, very good optics, and a really good accurate gun means that the Surblinders will basically
no, C-Knight coming in here. Can it at least get the kill into the MX-30? No, I don't think it can, and the TRM 2000 is just pushing it back. Next Bradley down. M1A1 coming around a bit too late there to get a shot off. And it's only one M1A1 now. It's only a single M1A1. Meanwhile, Bradley in the rear, rotating around a bit. AMX-10s and an AMX-30 coming around on this flank of the battlefield as well, whilst Forward, rightfully so, realizing that he got figured out there, now moves with the Bradley towards the other spawn, and that could be really effective the next couple of minutes down the line. But he needs to do something about an MX-30 just rushing down his spawn road right now. He brings the M1A1 around there. Can that stop it? Can it find the kill here before it gets too much damage done? Might work out. M1A1 trying to get on top of this. Yeah, comes over the hill. Yeah, we'll get the kill there. Oh, if it doesn't shoot at the TRM 2000 first. Okay, yeah, AMX
Oh
goes
no, but
down.
the AA plane is not turning against the Oh well, now it's
Oh, it misses both missiles. It gets the kill before something worse happens. We have the Eyehawk on the battlefield. Mirage F1C, 10 hit points on this one. It's not a Mirage 3, but the F-16, oh, it goes down. F-16 is down there on the absolute edge of the map. I can't zoom in there at all. It's even sliding down the wall. There's an invisible wall over there. I've never seen this before. It just slides down the invisible wall there. Okay, last second kill there for the Mirage F1C200 there. Well, it's the M1A1 at least cleans up in the rear and survives that encounter. The AT plane is down, and the Bradley already with its first couple of kills here. 2 VABs, and I think a returning, no, a third VAB. 3 VABs down against the Bradley in the rear line. Forward, starting to get some stuff done there. I'm not sure if Tiberius recognized what happened there.
Tiberius is now buying infantry unit to start pushing in November, which is the urban point. The infantry, which is taking challenge positions, attacking positions on this building line here, on this commercial area, industrial area maybe. The thing that I said in the opener is that you don't want your enemy to get this building area because it's so difficult to get rid of them. There's a direct road giving the enemy ability to reinforce this, and even though currently there's a Bradley killing reinforcements, which is buying forward some amount of time and space,
oh no, Milan 2,
really...
it misses. M1A1 there is lucky. And we have another M1A1 coming up. We have a Cyanide helicopter coming around again. We see AA pieces being brought in here by forward. Grenadier Voltigeurs getting taken out by the LGBs. AA pieces being brought out by Tiberius. Bradley gets both killed again. Bradley now with 5 kills there in the rear line, doing a fantastic job. Milan 2's going down here on the front line as well. And Tiberius' position here gets problematic now. With the reinforcements being cut off, like, he takes trades here, but he can't afford trades when he doesn't have reinforcements, whilst there are constant reinforcements on the other side. The snowball might go into forward's favor here soon, if Tiberius doesn't figure out what is happening to his rear line here.
That's true, but this AMX-10 and AMX-30 attack coming here on the southeast, which will bring out the Grenadiers as well as the leader into November. There's very little here to do.
Oh my goodness, another kill here on Grenadier Voltigeurs. AMX-30 being brought out now. That one finally kills the Bradley. Okay, but another infantry unit here killed. So, yeah, if forward is being able to bring this around, then it will be based on the kills achieved by that Bradley. Like, that Bradley, if he can get it around again, it's all down to that one. Though, yeah, as you said, the push here in the south, that might be still too much, as it's only 4 minutes 40 here with this +4 currently going on. And forward currently not having a hold here to get back into any of the points on the front line.
Yeah, there are wounded Abramses on reasonably close ranges in which the AMX-30B2s can penetrate their armor, and this is such an inefficient situation. Now that the AMX-10s will likely move into the backline, yes, exactly, Tiberius is going to move to cut out the reinforcement route, and the Jaguar will die to the AMX-10, even though the Engineer's Dragon has actually managed to get a hit with their older generation Dragon missile. That's not doing anything to prevent the leader from getting into November.
Yes, and there's no CVs here on the battlefield for forward either. He lost all his CV units a bit needlessly, and that means he can't even react here right now. Like, he can't get into any of the zones fast enough now, even if he would get some back, and that is a massive problem. Quick fix being brought in, but that only will confirm what he fears. It won't be able to get anything done really there. So, yeah, I think this is it still. Like, the kills of the Bradley in the rear, amazing, but just not quite good enough in the end still.
Yeah, the fact that Tiberius knew specifically in which position to move with with the AMX-30s in the northern attack. The fact that the one place in which he ordered his troops, ordered his tanks to go blindly, mind you, was the one spot in which the Bradley could not cover or challenge them. I think that speaks of an excellent, amazing amount of both map and division knowledge. Realizing that the sorts of recon units that get sent to defend this area do not have proper AT weapons, so it's safe to send in basically blind 3 main battle tanks right next to your enemy's position. The Forward 34s was predictable by sending in the units to the standard locations, to their most efficient locations. And even with the trades going so evenly, the game at no point was forward even
Yes, it's
even like
really
designing a counterattack.
just a repeat of what Tiberius did to Woe Is Me here. Like, forward playing similar here like Woe played, like getting good trades, getting a decent force around, but not having enough controlling force around his points. And Tiberius just taking advantage of that, being like, okay, yeah, I still will get in there, boy. I still will take those points off you. And sure, I might trade 1-1 right now, but as long as I get to the 2,000 points here in a decent time, I don't care. And that's exactly what he did here. Trading pound for pound, basically, in the fights, but trading 1,550 to 100 in points. And that is what this game is in the end all about. And if you can get these 1-1 trades in as the aggressor, that is still pretty impressive here. Like, yes, Tiberius didn't smack forward here, but he did do the 1-1 KD whilst being the one on the push, and that is really strong play and absolutely deserved equalizer here. So yeah, we at least will go to game number 4 today, and a really strong show from both players now. Game 1 forward with his game plan fully working out. Game 2, this time around, it was Tiberius with things working out absolutely fantastically.
Yeah. Do you know what the third map will be?
No information on that yet. What do we have left? We have Vertigo left. We have... let me have a look. We have Death Row left and Black Forest. Okay, so 2 really straightforward battle maps there with Death Row and Vertigo. And then the somewhat more complex Black Forest. I feel like we will see a Black Forest here picked next.
I think Black Forest as well. I think it's going to be the most comfortable of these divisions here, but I would love to see some Death Row personally.
And yeah, we will get the prediction points out there. Really strong show here by Tiberius. Are you still there?
I am here.
Okay, yeah. So, sorry, it just sounded there for a second like it cut you out. But yeah, so that will be a small downtime time here, whilst we are getting ready for the next one. Game number 3 coming up here. Both players most likely needing a short break here, and then they will let us know the next pick and ban. Gives you time to maybe support the channel via a like on the YouTube video, maybe a Twitch Prime if you have it laying around. Thanks for all the follows, guys. Thanks to all the new faces here. Xelion, I think IDXT, yeah, no, UVPD, Ugly 51. Yeah, thanks to all of you here for coming around. Smart Doggy, JVKO, all of you, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. We're gonna have another stream tomorrow morning, guys, by the way. I'm always streaming Wednesday mornings. So, yeah, in only a couple of hours' time. Late night for all of you on the West Coast in the US. And yeah, midday for all of you from Asia who are still somehow watching right now. And yeah, early mornings for you in Europe. We're gonna cover maybe some more Division 2. Maybe if my voice is not quite fit tomorrow again, we're gonna just play some Scramble, Battle for Britain, or some Sea Power, but we're gonna have a stream tomorrow morning again. So be around for that. And
Yeah. So as a little chloride update, I just realized that I had been eating moldy bread. The bread packet, there was mold under there. I had not tasted it, but I'm sure I will experience the consequences at the very least tomorrow. Send me your support.
yeah, send it at least in the way of following Chloride channel.
Following, yeah. So for whatever reasons that probably have something to do with me talking politics, I have lost a couple of followers. So you guys, go and put me back to 200.
Yeah. Which Twitch wants you to just play video games, Chloride.
That is true, but I do play video games, and I explain the stuff. If you're somebody who's wants to get into WARNO, especially wants to get into WARNO 1v1, and you want to both watch games and hear me explain what I'm doing way more than other players, that is my stream is a good place to go.
Yeah, and yeah, let's see what will be map number 3 be? What will be the map number 3? Yes, Tiberius Rancor here, coming around. And yeah, we're waiting here for the next one. Forward. Still a menu here. So it seems like the pick and ban going somewhat slowly. Black Forest would be interesting. And the other ones would be straightforward. And I feel like... Do you think we will see a 5th plane day ban now? I feel like we will see a 5th plane day ban, right? Like, that was just a bit too dominant here from Tiberius.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, I after that showing, I think I can't imagine wanting to risk the fact that you get perfectly efficiently done 5th plane day against you by the best 5th plane day player in the game. It doesn't matter how confident you are, how better you think your divisions are, how contested the ability of 5e is in your opinion. After getting that done to you in the semifinals, you're just gonna lean on the certainty. You want to be safe. And there is a session on right now, but the game has not started yet.
Yes, I don't have any information about the picks and bans yet either. So I will keep you updated on that one, guys. Yeah, we can chill out here in the Between the Games channel. And yep, I feel like both show absolute solid gameplay when it comes to the fundamentals, and they also seem to be able to go into longer games. So I feel like both having better chances than 42 fans. I think that my prediction in that regard got boosted so far by the show we got from these players so far today. So I'm really excited for the grand finals, which most likely gonna happen not next weekend, but the weekend after. We have to figure out the timings when the finalists is decided, but more information about that in the next 2 or 3 days. Most likely on the weekend, 23rd, 24th, and one of those days. So yeah, as soon as we have the information there, I will let you all know on YouTube, on Discord, with an announcement on when that will happen. Hopefully we get Eugen to make an announcement as well, as we have enough time to get them a heads up most likely this time around, so that Matt can boost it out there, and then we can have a really nice big final here for Season 2. It was, as always, a blast, and we're gonna cover more of the other divisions as well. The finals is there.
It is Black Forest.
Ooh. Yeah, and we have to pick some bands as well. And no 5th plane day. No 5th plane day ban coming out. Black Forest Game 3. KDA 76, 2nd Panzer, and 1st UK band. So KDA 76, Forward is stuck on that. Forward doesn't want to see KDA around. And that is fine.
I mean, I get that. It's not really that esoteric of a pick, but you would still think that the 5e, like, come on, you just got ruined by the best 5e player in the game right now. But confidence is a virtue sometimes. Overconfidence, not so much.
Yeah, let's go in here. We have the game up. Black Forest it is, so we were right on that prediction. And we have a 15 again. Okay.
Damn. And famously very good on this map as well, I believe. Long reinforcement route, so the Mephistos and the fast deployment works out very well if the French want to start out with a town fight or on fighting for Charlie, which is the sawmill area up top. They can reinforce fast. They're going against 27th Motostrelkovaya Divizia, which is one of the most played, possibly the most solid Soviet non-airborne division. 27th is the high-tech one. 27th is the one with the BMP-3s, the one with the mediocre anti-air, the mediocre air tab, but a really good artillery tab and a very powerful mech force. I think it actually works pretty well against 5e, if just because of the ATGM speed of the Bastion missiles. The thing about the BMP-3's missile is that it's not just longer range than all standard missiles, it's also faster and it's very accurate. So if this becomes a fight of ATGM versus ATGM, 27th will be able to contest this. And 27th is also really good at providing fast, quickly reloading, and varied artillery. You can have your Grad missiles, your large swarms of multi-launching rocket artillery. You can have your Nonas, which are these fast-moving, self-propelled mortar sorts of things. And then you can just have a lot of really good standard heavy self-propelled guns as well. And as we have said before, Black Forest is a slower map than the others. The way that the points are set means that there is simply more time that the games keep going on, even if one side gets an early advantage or a breakthrough. But a lot of players compensate for this fact by playing even more aggro, by playing for the win very early. And neither of these, I'd say 5e can maybe go for the kill here, but they lack forward deployment troops, so they're going to have to win a couple of engagements, likely with helicopters and air assets and AMX-10s, to be able to push for like decisive early victory. And there are enough defensive positions, buildings, and such on both sides that as long as no major risks are taken by the 27th, a full breakthrough early on is kind of unlikely. The French get the commandos, which are the helicopter they don't have forward deployment troops, but they have the helicopter transported troops. The single card of commandos will go up to Charlie and basically try to get the zone for free. Forward is already giving up on Charlie, sending two Otrdinelny Podersky troops, which are the Soviet anti-tank troops, the specialized anti-tank squads with the amazingly good RPG-2980 weapon, sending them to hold the two flanks, both the forest flank as well as the back line. And this is obviously an anti-AMX-10 maneuver. The AMX-10 is quite risky. AMX-10 has enough speed that
No,
it can
one of them actually got just changed in its command, though. Oh my goodness. One of them is just going to try to be really sneaky and blocking the southern spawn.
Damn.
Oh boy.
I like it.
That's... like, Steel Division 2 players will get PTSD right now, as we had similar plays in Steel Division 2 with PTRS anti-tank rifles, though this one here a bit harder to pull off and a bit weaker in general, I would say, but that is an interesting play here. Meanwhile, on the other side, a lot of helicopters coming out here, out of the French, commandos and super pumas, and some Gazelle cannons coming around. Not as many tanks this time around, so a complete switch up here from Tiberius. with the classic Dark Neutron double tank leader opener here at the beginning. But yeah, not the heavy tank focus this time around.
Tiberius actually buying 3 more units to fortify Charlie, which is smart if you're thinking that Charlie will be the area to fight. 4 units might be just a little bit too much. You can probably deal with 3 if you want to be as efficient as WARNO League semifinals might demand you to be. And but if we look at forwards attack here, we're seeing infantry and recon. Lots of recon put into reasonably standard locations, aside from the recon helicopter, which will likely try to pick out a key unit and then run back. I think this is not sending any vehicles here and wanting to get as much ground as possible. There's even a card of Commendaturas to have an infantry fight in the middle here. This is considering Tiberius is doing already this planning to take some pretty risky positions, pushing in on standard defensive locations east of Foxtrot, as well as sending the helicopters in to contest Bravo. This full infantry attack down the middle and conservative defensive positions on the other areas might work out if forward manages to move from Bravo to Alpha fast. The Tiberius is taking a risk here, investing so much into a southeast push, and as well as the defense of Charlie. There isn't that much holding the center. The plan might be that first minutes afterwards, you're gonna start sending stuff to Alpha, but with enough micro, enough planning out, there could be a strong Soviet force in the middle, which will be able to break through the light and mobile and recon heavy deployment, early deployment here. You very rarely on this level see this much concentration of infantry in a single area, and also quite surprising for forward. I think forward might be doing the same thing as did in the first game with First UK, which is playing a mech division and not doing a mech opener.
Yeah, we see a decent amount of normal infantry here, and then a couple of BMP2s and BMP3s. The BMP2, BMP3 stuff is for sure gonna be decent against any AMXs if you get them into the open fields in the north. They can be especially helpful, though, against any commandos that might be caught off guard, and Tiberius might have a similar issue here than he had in game 1 of just having a bit too little on the battlefield here, when the wrecking ball that is that BMP2 blob comes knocking, as the Super Puma